The impact of stereotypes has been, it's impossible to overestimate the impact. The first law that the American Congress ever passed to bar people from coming to this country solely on the basis of race or ethnicity was the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882. And you know, there were economic arguments that were made, there were political arguments made, but those were all intertwined with this notion that the Chinese were an inferior race or ethnic group of people, incapable of assimilating into American society, and that their mere presence was somehow a form of, you know, their mere presence caused degradation to American society and culture. In 1922 and 1923, the Supreme Court ruled in the Ozawa case and the Tin case that Japanese and Indian immigrants were banned from ever becoming naturalized citizens in the U.S. And again, the argument was that these people, because of their physical and cultural qualities, simply did not belong permanently in America. They could not cause anything but harm to American society if they were allowed to have more rights and privileges and freedoms. And then, of course, almost every, you know, war that America fights in Asia is influenced by stereotypes. I mean, they're just so, you can't watch a film about the Vietnam War without the word gook being used repeatedly. John McCain, he's running for president in the year 2000, right? So we're 25 years after the end of the Vietnam War. John McCain is a senator who is one of the leading contenders for the Republican nomination for president, known for the Straight Talk Express, right? Someone who speaks his mind. And he is telling stories about his experience in the Vietnam War and using the word gook repeatedly in front of reporters 10 years ago. And then he gets called on it. They say, you know, should you still be using that word, or do you find it problematic? And he says, I have nothing to apologize for. I hate the gooks. I will hate them as long as I live. You know, only some naive, sentimental person would say, you know, it's wrong to talk about the Vietnamese enemy, you know, as a gook, with no sense, you know, of how much pain and damage this word has caused. How this notion that all the Vietnamese are gooks, you know, once you call the enemy a gook, you're racializing the enemy. And this is the type of mentality that led to massacres like the My Lai massacre, when, you know, hundreds of villagers who were supposed to be the people, you know, the American troops were there to help protect, are massacred, and then it gets covered up until it all becomes a huge expose. A presidential candidate, a major presidential candidate, could be using a term that racist in 2000 gives us some sense, you know, of how pernicious and how deep these are within American culture, and that the media would let him get away with it for quite a while before someone finally called him on it. And again, you know, similar types of racist epithets were just commonly used during World War II to talk about Japs and Nips, and again, it's only when there was some compelling foreign policy reason to recognize, you know, that America needed allies who were Asian, that you begin to see within elite American society some attempts to combat this overt stereotype and even introduce these kind of model minority images.